You can't say that, okay, this is a playbook which I'll follow and everything will fall in place. It's a journey, you keep on learning. I think one important factor which I would say is to have the right team. Uh, you should have the right founders, you should have the right team. I want to talk about more of a technical quality, it's more about having a great knowledge. You should be jack of all and you should be master of one. You should know one thing perfect. All the other you should have knowledge about. Because without that, you can't be a right entrepreneur, right? Risk appetite, very important. You should have that appetite of taking the risk, trying to jump again into the pool again and again. I think that can be the qualities which I would say.
Welcome to Nekotachi. Myself Tanvi, and today we are welcoming our guest Ashish Agrawal, who is an expert in D2C strategy and e-commerce. So, hello, sir.
Hi.
Pleasure to have you here.
Same here.
We are excited to have a talk to you about your experience at PwC, Swiggy, Live Pure, and he has helped many businesses grow through his smart marketing and profit-driven strategies. As the founder of Picoto, he has introduced innovative bike service solutions and gained support from our angel investors. He has also contributed to business growth at Sparklebox and Live Pure Smart. So we are looking forward to have an insightful conversation with you today.
Sure.
So let's start with our first question. So you've been at forefront of both building a business and driving growth at a very competitive sector. So if you had to start from scratch today with everything you know now, so what would be your approach to be launching a very brand new business in 2025? And what do you think is the one key factor that could make or break a venture?
All right. I think I would split that question to two factors. One is what would I start with? Looking at India's D2C journey now, I would really enter into a D2C market. We would be landing around $16 billion by 2025. That gives me a scope of being into an industry where it would be a red ocean plus blue ocean to create a lot of new products and scale my business to a next level. Out of that, fashion and apparel takes out 50% of the stake, because look at Gen Zs, right? They're trying to follow trends. They're trying to get behind what somebody's wearing. Look at Zudio doing crazy now, getting into that price point and bringing that trends in. So I think fashion is one of the key places where I would get into. When I say fashion, it does not fall into just apparels as a fashion. It can be about cosmetics, it can be about footwears, it can be about apparels. So that's one of a great industry, which I believe is growing a lot. Mapping it to, targeting millennials, something going great is luxury decor, luxury segments. People are inspiring themselves, pushing themselves to buy a luxury product every day today. Look at, millennials, what they were earning 10 years back versus what they're earning now. So their spending capacity has increased. The total number of H&A count has increased in India. And there are a lot of people who are investing a huge amount to upgrade their lifestyle every day. While 10, 20 years back, there was no Gucci in India. Now you see stores opening. There was no IKEA for that matter, right? So I think all of this new bring-in cultures are changing, and then people are going more towards fashionable or outcomingly showing themselves how good they are, or presenting themselves very well. So that's one of the very good segment to look at and bring yourself in. I think you guys might follow Shark Tank and see so many cosmetic brands coming in every twice the episode. I think that one of the cosmetic brand or a small healthcare supplement brand coming in talking about the lifestyle, right? So that's where I think there is a huge gap, and we should get in, or I would really want to get in. And the other question what you asked was about what not to do,
Yeah.
right? I think there's no checklist of what to do and what not to do. There's always an environment. It's always, I believe, jump into the pool, either try to learn as how to swim, or just get out of the pool by getting some coach and trying to learn. So you keep on jumping. You can't say that, okay, this is a playbook which I'll follow and everything will fall in place. It's a journey. You keep on learning. I think one important factor which I would say is to have the right team. You should have the right founders. You should have the right team. You should have your right? People around you who encourage you, would really bring you that kind of culture to you, because that's how you will be able to be motivated, because challenges is every day. It's just not a one-day game. It's a 10 years long journey. But having the right people around you to face that challenge is the most important factor.
That was wonderful. So the next question would be, can you tell us about the trends in D2C business and what do you think is the future projection of this sector?
Right. So the trends which we saw right now is, fashion apparel growing in, lot of things from the marketplaces moving to their own website. So people are more keen about making their websites, growing the website a little bit more, then depending on Amazon and Flipkart. So I think the trend, when I talk about D2C, there is one product trend which we spoke about, fashion being there, FMCG being there, apparel being there, nutrition being there. The other trend which we could really look at is that people want to grow themselves as a brand, be profitable, and to being profitable, they need to grow themselves in offline and online both.
Right.
In online, they're moving from marketplace to their own kind of a website strategy. So that gives us a thumbs up that, the technology will keep on evolving. Platforms like Shopify, Magento, WooCommerce are going to go crazy. Platforms like your customer engagement, Web Engage, Mo Engage, your OMS solutions, which is your operation management systems, will keep on enhancing. E-commerce, all of these companies will grow.
Right.
Because this D2C business will become 16 billion, eventually leading to pull in a lot of money for all of these people. And this will all merge together to your own website as a culture. But then any brand, of course, before COVID, there was a tradition of being offline. Online wasn't a great platform to be, or maybe very early for India. Now it has become reversal. I think people want to believe a brand, but online, but then eventually also want to have that offline experience to it. Look at brands like Mokobara, look at brands like Jiva, look at, a very, very bigger brands out there who started online, but now are moving towards offline stores to give that right experience to the consumers, bring in more, loyalty to the customer. Because once you have a store, so an example, while we buy any kind of an iPhone or we buy some kind of an electronic, we would look out for a service center near me, right? Of course, there should not be a problem coming in, but that's how you look it out for, right? So that's the trend which is going on in an online or a D2C segment. And I would say D2C is not about, a brand selling themselves to a customer or a consumer via somebody. It's about a direct channel. So a brand making from the procurement or a manufacturer and taking it to the consumer directly. So they don't have a middleware. They don't have distributor, dealers, and all of that module. So I think, that's the trend, and it will keep on happening because there needs to be more clarity, more trust, which people are looking at nowadays.
That's great. So what qualities one should have to enter the e-commerce business?
What quality? Very tricky question. I think it is not very important to have lot of qualities as to be an entrepreneur. Frankly, entrepreneur, I believe, is a spark. You start from somewhere when you keep on listening business across. So if I just go back a little to my own journey, I've been from a Marwadi family. I'm working since third standard. I've heard business across me, and we've never learned online, right? We never heard when we were in third, that what is online, what's a website. All of that never existed. For my businesses, we used to always believe in the book business, and then later on we got to know about Tally, one of the software. So I think qualities, of course, the quality which we had was eager to learn, a spark to explore, risk appetite, very important. You should have that appetite of taking the risk, trying to jump again into the pool again and again. I think that can be the qualities which I would say. If I want to talk about more of a technical quality, it's more about having a great knowledge. You should be jack of all and you should be master of one. You should know one thing perfect. All the other you should have knowledge about. Because without that, you can't be a right entrepreneur, right? very differentiated point of view. Jack of none gets into a point saying ki, being an employee, I should know what a project looks like or a project management tool looks like. But being an entrepreneur, you have to play a role of an HR someday, because if your employees are not happy, you get in there to their shoes, try and understand what's the problem in the culture. Sometimes you have to get into the shoes of marketing guy. If he is at a very initial stage, let's say you don't have a team. So I myself ran Facebook advertisements when there was no Facebook dashboards. It was just a Facebook post getting promoted by adding 200 rupees fund a day or 150 rupees fund a day. So I think you have to get into that different roles every day. So that's the kind of quality you need. So it keeps on evolving. You don't need a pre-built quality.
Yeah, so differentiation.
Differentiation is
The key.
And then you should have a risk-taking appetite, a learning appetite as a quality to start something of your own.
So if someone wants to start an e-commerce business in college or just out of college, so what should they do?
Risk it. At a very simple point, risk it. I wanted to add up now. See, it's more matured business. Risk it was the time when I did it. And with my journey, I would say that what I also did was, while risking it, I did a lot of research about what's the market size, knowing what segment you're getting into, what is your TAM, targeted, people out there. What is that you're trying to bring in as a USP, a differentiation to the product? Is it the right time for it? And having a little understanding and knowledge about the tech, which is a very important play nowadays. Because till the time you don't know how to use the tech, I won't say learn how to make the tech. How to use the tech is a very important fundamental. Like, I would not say go and try to code for a ChatGPT. Rather, learn the prompts which ChatGPT could help you with the answers for. So I think it's more about learning the tech, learn Shopify in such a way that you could really handle the website rather than, building the whole Shopify game altogether. So if somebody has to get in, risk it, do a good research, have your numbers in place, try and understand how you could groom yourself. Also, if you want to get, you feel like, okay, I can't take that much of risk, get into a good incubation center, try to learn from them, give them some equity, which gives them some more interest into the game. And eventually they would help you to go to angels. Eventually they'll take you to VCs, they'll get you everywhere. So it's important that you risk it, you kind of again, have your right research done, make a prototype, do a small pilot, go for an incubation and try to scale a business that way.
Right.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. So as there is a lot of competition in this field already, what should one do to get ahead of this competition?
Okay, great. I think being ahead of competition again builds down to the kind of personality you are. If I had to be, one is of course following the trends, so all of the books out there will tell you that follow the trend, or look at the USPs and look this and that. But I think it's about your personality to move ahead of the competition. If you are not ready to learn from your competition, I think you will not be able to grow. People look at competitions in such a way that, oh, iPhone has a very bad let's say a feature of not being able to pay via Apple Pay. That's how a college student would do. They would not encourage somebody but disgrace somebody to say that, okay, you don't have this, I have this. Or a personality would do. I would say not a college student, or a personality would do. So the important factor is to move out into a competition is to learn from them, execute what can be done better. So if Apple is able to bring in a right UI UX, eventually if I am building an Android, I have to look at how do I make my user more comfortable to do so. The same activity which has been done at Apple. So I think it's again coming to a point that you have to personalize yourself in such a way that you learn from your competition and keep on implementing and trying a lot of new things as a risk taker. What your competitions are not doing versus what are they doing better. So when they are doing better, implement those. What they're not doing, try those. Without that, you won't be able to go one step ahead.
Right. So, sir, if a college student is starting a startup, So how would they fund, and how did that happen for you?
Okay, so fundraising, I think I'll just connect back my story. I think a very important factor, how do you start, right? So when I started into college, uh, I started, I think, in the last semester. Me and my friends came in together. We said, okay, this is a problem statement, let's solve it. While we went out of engineering, we didn't knew how to raise funds. So I think that time, so Ronnie Skuwala, UTV founder, he helped me, incubated me for a while through his startup with upgrade plan, and gave me a framework of how to scale the business or how to bring in a business module and all of that. Because being from an engineering background, I was not too aware of all of these terms to how to build in a business plan, how to put a framework in place. So I think all of that is a journey which I learned from them, and then went out to a lot of people out there to pitch. A very interesting fact, I did go to one of the founder and told him that, I have made a business plan, why don't you have a look at it and suggest me? And he was so in that time, he was a founder of developing a 3D printer in India, which has become very common now. And he developed the smallest 3D printer in India. So when I went back and gave him the business plan, he did tell me which is the version of your business plan. So I said, this is maybe a second or a third version. He said, you'll have to draft 25 business plans before getting an investment. And I felt it like a joke, very frankly. I said, oh, my business plan is so awesome. And I've been trained by Ronnie Skuwala, I'm following the framework. So it'll just kick off, and it is a master plan. Everything is in place. Trust me, it was my 25th plan which got approved by the angel investors. So I still remember that there's a journey which you have to build across. There is a lot of struggle which you have to go through. But for a right investment, I'll connect a dot earlier that you need a right research, a right product, right pilot to be done, right kind of framework to be followed from an incubator or a help from outside to really understand. And finally, for money, you need network. Because without network, there's no people who's going to trust you and bet on you. So let it be you being very good at what you do, but till the time you don't have a right network, you won't get into the right place at the right time, which would eventually help you with either money, funds, resource, or anything. So I think it's not about money though, to get connected to an investors or a venture capitalist. It's about being at the right time at the right place via a network. And also, if you look at a lot of angel investors and VCs out there, they would trust the product or the entrepreneur in front of them. They would not really look at revenues you bring in, the kind of things which you're doing in. So I think that's the important thing for a VC or an angel investor.
That's a great perspective. What mistakes do you commonly see that businesses make while designing strategies?
Okay, so I think commonly there are very, very common so if you go to any organization out there, right, and you ask them what has been the reason of you being not successful, people has prospect to say that it's my process, it's my capitalization, it's my money, I don't have money, I'm not able to make profits, I'm spending too much in marketing. But I feel it's people. And to the right great CHROs, if you move out there, if you have right people, I think you don't need any other challenge to be addressed. There are organizations, look at a very old kind of a manufacturing unit, right, who's doing a job work. Maybe Marwadis or Gujaratis or Punjabis out there who are doing this kind of businesses. They don't have process. They don't do marketing. They don't have a structure to the business the way the workflow diagrams or organization talk about. But they are making billions and millions of dollars. And either a rupee or they're happy with what they're doing. They are trustees to bigger colleges. They are doing great in their job, right? But they have right people in the place who are operating their accounts, who are operating their processes, who are operating their... So I think the bigger challenge what I see are people, tend to leave on or strategize on is getting the right people. While other strategies, people again do a mistake of marketing over marketing themselves.
Right.
Rather than being into a subtle way of marketing or bringing themselves to a sale kind of a brand, right?
Give an example for that.
For an over marketing.
Yeah.
So let's say I would, start marketing about a brand which is this water bottle out here, right? This is a belly bottle, right? I should talk about it's a water bottle. People start over marketing themselves by saying that, oh, blue color bottle filled up with a premium mineral water with bring in from Himalaya and vitamins and all of that, and they over market themselves. Look at Oxyrich, say 100% oxygen, simple, right? They don't want to talk about anything else. They don't talk about water also. They say 100% oxygen into a water bottle fixed in. Everybody out there know that water will have oxygen.
Yeah.
It's not a rocket science to know about it, but that's how you pretend yourself to be a right, a marketing or a right statement or a
I
tagline.
guess Fair and Lovely would also be a over marketing.
Exactly. I would say, yeah. Now, so just look at why Fair and Lovely's trend has got down. Look at exactly, you got the point that Fair and Lovely have been over marketing themselves. It ran, and it does run for a while. I would not say that it never used to run or it will not run. It will run for a while, but it will fade out. Today, people want a very subtle message. See, earlier, people did not have access to internet. They could not understand what they're trying to market about. Today, Gen Zs are so smart. Millennials are so smart. They know everything. Before buying a product, they'll get into the deep understanding of nutrients of that product.
Right.
Or a chemical composition of it. Earlier, my mother would have never asked me that, does this chip packet have some kind of carbs?
Yeah.
Now we being parents, we go out and try to first look out, okay, how many carbs does this packet have, right? So I think that's the kind of a behavioral change which has happened, because of which the people who try to over market themselves and not have a subtle message would not penetrate and do a mistake in marketing themselves as a strategy. So they should try to minimize it, optimize it to a certain subtle level where it gives the right messaging to the right audience and a very straightforward business.
So what piece of advice you want to give to someone who is looking to get into the field of D2C retail sector?
Okay, so my advice would be start building your team, start researching about the product you want to launch in, make your numbers so strong that you understand what are all things you want to do. How do you want to scale? Look at your future. I think the bigger miss with people nowadays are they don't have a vision. They want to just do it for the sake of trying it. So I think it's important to look at a vision first. There are a lot of founder's story, a big founder story where you would see that a founder has not been a founder in one day. Of course, not in one day, but not in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years. It's a journey, it's a vision. You at least need a higher timeline to be patient enough to reach there. I may talk about one of the brand, which is Merck's line. 1992, they were bankrupted. They really thought of selling their company. But then the founder took a stand and he thought, okay, I'll put in more loans and give it a try. Now they are the world's biggest transport company in terms of train transports. So I think the kind of thing an entrepreneur or a founder should have is patience, because we feel, okay, if this is not working, I'll switch to next. If that is not working, I'll switch to next. And that's the kind of learning I had when I did my startup with whatever mistakes or the scale-up plan did not work out. I jumped out of it. And today I feel, okay, if I would have been there, I would have been to a different level. I would say I don't regret about it, because I feel that that's the great learning I had ever. But then if I would have stick to it at a patience, I think you may see another Go mechanic, or you might have seen another Go mechanic who's doing great in India. So that's the kind of things which anybody is scared of not doing. So again, you need strength, patience. You would need a lot of risk appetite again. And this is the right time for a risk appetite, because you move out of college, either you take a job or you try something new. Your parents won't rely on you. You have 5-6 years to build yourself. So in that 5-6 years of journey, you could really have that patience and build something great. So that's an advice I would give, that you bring in a lot of stress, not stress, a lot of strength to bring in that patience and have no stress.
So, looking back on your journey, what advice would you give to your 20-year-old self? Are there any mistakes you made earlier that would advise you others not to repeat?
All right, great. A very big pain point. I think at 20s, I did kind of had a journey of enjoying a lot. Uh, I think I the kind of exposure you guys have got versus what we got was way too different. We always got an exposure to maybe college events and all of that, but internet wasn't the key even that time. It was still trying to evolve. So I think what I learned from that time was always from my experiment of trying things and somebody not like me coming and guiding so easily to you guys. So that was one of the things which I never had, because of which we kept on doing a lot of mistakes. As a friends, we started the company. We couldn't cope up with what we should have been doing, marketing our own responsibilities, marking down our own boundaries of doing our work, not paying a lot of attention to what really can help us, and trying things or learning from outside, because we didn't have accessibility, or we also had maybe we had egos and all that. So or either we could not cope up with the technology growing in. So I think there are a lot of things which were there as a mistake, but I would say keep learning from your mistakes. There's no mistake. So either you win or you learn. You never lose.
Yeah.
Like, if that attitude is there, in which I always had, I think I always learn or either I win. So either I'll complete something and win and say happy, or I'll just say, okay, good work done, learn something, let's keep on moving. So bigger advice is, while you want to be into cultural activities, you want to build an entrepreneurship journey or a future, also focus on your curriculums, because that's a very important factor to look at, because there are case studies which will help you to design your own platform very well.
Sir, so as we discussed earlier about your first startup that was in bike service solution. So can you tell me the thought process behind it and how did that go, early stages?
So I think there wasn't a thought process. It was an idea which came across as a daily pain point. So while we talked about which industry to go in for you guys, right? I think it's about addressing the pain point, having the right market fit. So same issue happened with us. Some certain day, me and my friend, we had a habit that every day morning he would come to my society, pick me up, and then we used to go to college. A sudden day, he did not show up in the morning for a long time. And I gave him a call and I asked him, where are you? He's like, my bike is stuck, bro, and all of that. So I told him, okay, leave it. I'm coming back, because he used to live back. So I'll come back and pick you up. And then I picked him up, and then we kind of went to our college. And then we suddenly, after the lunch break, we thought of discussing what exactly happened to the bike. And then we gave it for the service also. And then we still had that pain point to really skip our lunch and go to the place, tag that vehicle to the center, and two people had to really go and lead that whole thing for a small thing. While this could have been solved very easily, that if I had a service like a service center, I call him and say, okay, my bike is broken down there, why don't you pick it up? While my college ends, I'll get my bike returned. Or this same case goes for a college versus a school, or maybe not a school, I would say an office. So I think that kind of discussion happened between us, and then we parked it. Okay, it would have been so easy to do so. But then certain day, two of my friends came back to me and told me, oh, you know what, that problem statement we had that day, we figured out a solution for it. So I said, okay, what's that solution you're looking at? So they said, building up a business is the solution for it. I said, okay, that sounds interesting. But how do we get into the business, right? And how do we start the business? And what is that you're looking for? So we said, okay, see, we're from an IT background, and we learned how to make website. We've heard how to make database and all of that. Let's build it with the technology. Call can also be a solution, but call is a very initial stage of doing it, versus we need to evolve with the tech. So we started discussing, brainstorming, and we started discussing a lot of challenge. You can't hand over your bike directly to somebody whom you don't know, right? Let somebody coming in. So how do we crack that behavior, that we build up a brand or we build up a technology which gives them a visibility? So a visibility in terms of when I come and pick it up, you should be able to locate where your bike is, so that in case if there is a theft, you could really get it from there, right? So from getting the people, or let's build an aggregated model where we kind of onboard the smaller vendors nearby your home, whom you know and is your mechanic. The only problem we are solving is tech for you. Eventually, that we give you a list of all the people who are there nearby to you. You select, book an appointment for them. They themselves will come and pick it up for you. So I think that kind of whole discussion happened, and we thought, okay, sounds like a great plan. Looks like a commission model which we should do and kickstart the business at a very initial scale. But when we had to do it, we really had to understand how do we kind of get into it. So we got into the legality with one of our friends who was a legal advisor. We filed for a copyright. We got a technology friend who started building up the website. I myself, being more into marketing, started learning about Meta, Google. I would say rather Facebook at that time and Google at that time. Other guys started looking out for right vendors who could really do. And one of our friend was looking at the accounting, who could, on day-to-day basis, what's rotating, what would come in. So I think, that's how the journey kept on evolving, and we went to a stage where we built a plan, executed it very well. We got an investment of 25 lakh. We were valued at 5 CR at that time, just having first 100 customers, growing ourselves to that next level. But then, something really did not work out with our friends because we were not really making money. And family, and we gave almost 2 years of our life because we had to do a lot of research. So I think one of the biggest other thing connecting your earlier questions as a mistake was that we kept on researching so much time that we did not executed what we really felt like. Going back to again, what is that a bigger organizations make a mistake of strategy, right? You keep on building a strategy. If you don't implement those, it goes for a toss. So I think that was one of the mistakes which we did, and we lost a lot of time. But of course, we had the right knowledge, right understanding of what we are trying to do. That is the reason we got the funding. But with the late execution and not the right time to fall things in place, we eventually winded up that company at a very good note of being friends. So I think, that's been the journey there. But very interesting to learn as a learning phase that time. And we had a great fun that time because we learned a lot on terms of researching. So we really understood that there are almost 6 to 8 great brands in India who are manufacturing the right vehicles. And they have almost 150 SKUs which are unreplaceable. We also learned that a big fact, all of your authorized centers are overwhelmed to serve their customers. Hence, so when I say authorized centers, you go to Hero, Honda, they have their own service centers, right? So in weekends and at times, they are overwhelmed. They don't have that kind of supply to be given. So there is a demand of this small or unauthorized centers opening up, and they are also being able to fulfill and make a lot of money out there. So I think, that's the challenge of India. Itself, 2014 metric says that Pune had 70 lakh two-wheelers. 70 lakh two-wheelers was an approximation of one family having at least two two-wheelers. So it was a great time to do things, and it really did work for a while. And we came out of it with a good learning, and we're doing that today.
That was a wonderful journey. So what was the obstacle in your journey that you felt like was a rock bottom?
I think money. Everybody has that. As the college time when we got out, I think money and funding was the initial first problem statement we wanted to solve, because we were more of researchers. I think that's the mistake we had, and the money was the most problematic challenge which we had, because we had to survive our business. But I think if we would have done execution, money would have not been a problem. But at that time, money, and the other was a little bit of experience on the job. or job, or rather I would say a little bit of for my colleagues or my friends at that time, a little bit of experience of getting things executed faster. So there were 2-3 things where as a team we did divide our pointers, saying that okay, this is yours, this is yours, this is yours. We did not respected each other's decision in that own environment. So this quick challenges which can bring in a lot of misunderstanding between your teammates or friends or co-founders can be avoided as a challenge, and you can overcome out of that. So I think that's what I had at that time.
So what was the work-life balance like while you're working with your friends?
I think it was very fun also. Very true. We used to enjoy our bad days and good days in a very great way. A work-life balance, and we used to never feel like we're really working for, earning breads. We rather became more passionate. So it was very interesting to work with friends because, friends are the people who are always there in your good and bad, right? So we never felt like, okay, if we are working till 3 in the morning and waking up at 6 also would have made us feeling ki acha nahi. We would still felt, okay, we're with friends. To have fun while we are making our own, business plan, pulling each other's leg, celebrating our investment into a bar, celebrating a screwed up day with an investor while he's saying that your business plan looks like a shit and throwing it in front of us over a table. So I think that kind of things that happened to us where we being friends, we understood that if there are rejections, if there are, a lot of things which is not going well, we are supported to each other, we go out, we relax. So I think it got into never thinking about work life. It was more about passion, about friendship at that time. So we never thought that, okay, we're working. We thought, okay, it's a passion which we are getting behind in.